Nityanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtyam Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunadaitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam, everyone. First, today I just wanted to talk about a decision that has come to light about treatment and abusals of Hindus in India, actually, specifically with regard to the destruction of Hindu temples. So it seems the Chennai High Court has today passed, I don't know exactly what it's a resolution or what form it is, but a decision about the treatment and governance of Hindu temples by the government, actually. And what it has said is that if anyone complains about any Hindu temple, for example, the way that rituals are performed or the way that it's run, then the government can take over that temple. And actually, that's what we've seen is like basically the temples get looted by, I was just looking, like being from Canada, I was just looking at some things about Justin Trudeau, who's the Prime Minister of Canada currently, and what he's doing over there. And so it kind of makes some sense to me that I can see how different governments around the world will be abusing their privileges, of course. But anyway, so what we see in India is the temples are being looted. Like, basically people will take a certain portion of their money, and a lot of the gold actually was always kept in Hindu temples, because gold is the metal that vibrates at the highest frequency. So the master who is able to use cosmic energy and put it into the form of a deity to energize, like for example, this Swamiji Panchaloha Murti is made of 5 metals. I don't remember exactly what they are: gold, silver, zinc. I'm not sure, but so it's a specific combination that holds and resonates energy. And so when a master who's able to imbue that deity with energy does that process, then anyone who comes into contact with that deity gets the conscious benefit. So basically, that's basically the way it works. We have just that possibility of always being expressing ourselves in the space of consciousness, so not being distracted by our mind, and so living at a higher frequency. So actually, when you live at the higher frequency, then your cells change. The way that they vibrate changes also. The information that they look for and the energy that they put out changes. And so that's basically the idea. When you come into contact with an enlightened being, especially with Swamiji as an incarnation as per Hinduism, then when your body comes into contact with his, the cells literally take on the same qualities of his body. So Swamiji has a brahmachari body, and so when we come into contact with him, or when he's giving an initiation, then it immediately prepares our mind and body to express whatever is the spiritual strength and power that Swamiji is giving in that moment. So he's able to orient his body and mind towards expressing any number of spiritual powers. And so when that energy is radiant in his body, when our body comes into contact with his, then our cells in our body take on the same qualities, like from a DNA level. We can see this, and it's measured in many different experiments, and it shows basically that our cells take on the same radiant frequency and qualities as the cells of the other body. So the DNA, the way that the DNA vibrates and operates changes. And so even when those cells then go even thousands of miles apart, they maintain those same changes. And if one change happens in one of the cells, one of the sets of cells, that same change immediately happens in the other cells, beyond time and space. So it happens immediately, irregardless of the distance. So anyway, so this is the blessing that we get from living in the breathing space of an incarnation and from being able to receive blessings from him. So what's going on basically is that a temple is a place where, like a repository of truth. So when we're living out in the world, getting distracted by whatever it is and having our mind kind of continuously control us and have our desires pull us in many different directions, what is the real solution? And so the temple is a space where you can get the conscious expansion. And so the very stones and the orientation of the stones in the temple is designed to give you conscious expansion, and the deities being imbued with the cosmic energy by a master who knows how to take the cosmic energy through the process of prana pratishta and put that energy into a deity so that the deity radiates that energy. That energy will radiate even in concentric circles throughout the temple, so that when you come into the space of the temple, you're that vibrant frequency that happens because of the energy radiating from the deity actually lifts your cells to a higher conscious level. So the only thing we have to do is constantly keep ourselves at that high conscious level, that high frequency, to be living in with an enlightened body. So basically mitigate any impact of emotions, thoughts, feelings, or bodily expressions that can take us into space where our being is not being expressed. So blocked by fear, doubt, worry, thoughts, emotions, whatever. So continuously keeping our cells in our body at the highest radiant frequency so that we can create whatever we want with our life. So that's the basic purpose of our life, is the ability to cause whatever we want to have happen. So as spiritual beings, we have a spiritual existence that is the foundation and source of our existence. And so the need is to express that highest possibility as us. So that's all we need to do, is be manifesting whatever it is we want to create in our life constantly. So when our cells are oriented towards that and expressing that highest frequency, then they're available for us to manifest anything we want through our body immediately. So the temple is that place. And so what's happening in India is, I mean, I don't know what's going on with these different government groups. I mean, it's amazing to me, but like I said, coming from Canada and seeing what's going on over there also, I mean, I can understand that, you know, politicians and governments are abusing people. But basically, yeah, it's, I mean, even if we look in West Bengal, there's a really fascist, extremist, well-known Muslim leader who's been appointed to administer the temples in that state. And so he's basically just, I mean, destroying them and looting them. And so temples would have been the repository of truth and the place where most gold was kept, because the gold is given as a gift to the deity. And actually in India and in the Vedic tradition, the deity for which the temple is built to invite the deity to express themselves there, that being, the deity is the owner of the temple and owner of the land, and the owner of any gifts that may be given to the deity. So we give gold as a gift because it radiates the highest frequency, and so when we come back to visit the deity, that enlightened energy is radiant back towards us. So it's all for the benefit for our own selves. And the temples, also it's known through our agamas, through our applied science of enlightenment, how to live enlightenment, that we cannot build temples on any place where any building has been built before. So there's no history of Hindus stealing or in any way co-opting other spiritual buildings like mosques or churches or anything like that, or any other building for the purpose of converting it into a temple, because our Agama says we're not allowed to build a temple on a place where another building already has existed. So this is not something that we know anything about, although we see it happen in other traditions, taking a temple and converting it into some other spiritual denomination place. And so this is the kind of thing that's going on. And, basically it's all towards the point of destroying Hindus, who are the only tradition that accepts any and all gods. So it's the only possible way of moving forward in life, because it's the only tradition that is able to accept any and all gods. So we're not for any need to destroy any other tradition. We have the pure enlightenment science. We've been expressing it for many thousands of years, and we're here to give it to whoever wants it. It's an inner software, so it requires that you cooperate with it in order for it to express through you. And because it is a natural expression of the cosmos, or of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, of the lifestyle of living where you avoid doing anything that if done to you would cause you pain. So being that Sanatana Hindu Dharma is an expression of the flow of life itself, that if you go against the flow of life, then you can't have the benefit. So essentially this is why Hindus are being attacked, and Hinduism is being attacked, because it's the only possible way forward. So the only way forward that other traditions know is that when they want to expand, they have to destroy their neighbors. So we as Hindus know how to live with the pure science, the agamic application of that science, and the Shastra Pramana, the expression of that through our enlightened masters that recreate that in us as experience of the pure enlightenment science. So giving that to other people. So this kind of thing is going on, and so basically we've started, you can find any of us through Twitter, and so basically we're just going to overturn this decision, because it's abusive and destructive and intolerant. So the thing is, we cannot have any tolerance for intolerance. We see too many times, if we just kind of turn the other cheek to the intolerant, then the intolerant beings come and destroy you. So that's not working anymore. It's not possible anymore. And since 1978, since the incarnation of Swamiji, it's not allowed to happen anymore. So basically, we're just enacting what needs to happen: the destruction of negativity on the planet. So I'm just going to come back in a few moments and continue with this topic. Just give me one moment here. So so this is basically what's happening, and so you can catch any one of us on Twitter, and basically through that we're raising the awareness that this is has to stop, and we're going to overturn this decision basically from the Chennai High Court. So just get on to #SaveHinduTemples. So you don't have to write your own posts, just retweet any of the ones. Just search for #SaveHinduTemples and just retweet all of them. I think we got up to about 37,000 retweets this evening, and so we're just going to keep doing that. And so anyway, so we're just going to overturn this decision because it's a direct attack on our lifestyle. Okay, I'll be back in one moment.